Going on, guys? What's going on, Burgundy Ballers? Welcome back to the Ballin and Burgundy podcast, where we get y'all with everything Commanders related. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Turn on that little bell and hit post notifications to let you know every time we upload here at BIB. And if you're new, we are the two OGs, the two co-hosts of the show. I am Jonathan Dowd at John Dowd Pro _10 on Instagram, and followed by
I am Justin. You can follow me at DC Commander Justin on Instagram. And we got a lot of news for you guys tonight.
we got an episode before we get into that. Before we get into our Commanders news, Jalen Carter, how, buddy? If you guys didn't catch the supposed number one overall draft pick on defense, a top 3 draft prospect, Georgia's defensive tackle Jalen Carter, today, but recording this Wednesday, March 1st. You guys will see this hopefully on Thursday. Has an arrest warrant out against him in the city of Athens, Georgia, for reckless driving and racing. Because back before the new year, obviously everyone saw the unfortunate news that one of his teammates and one of the UGA's coaches and staffers lost their lives in a car crash. Well, new news has come out that Carter not only was part of it, but misled police and information. So, Jalen Carter, what happened? Why?
Yeah, why? I mean, you were dumb enough to race your teammate, got him killed,
Yep,
and the staffer makes no sense, man.
it it doesn't. So we'll stay on top of that on Instagram. We'll cover that. But let's get into our news. So over the weekend, Carson Wentz was cut, Bobby McCain was cut, and then today and yesterday, Jonathan Williams, David Mayo, Milo Effler, Rashad Wagoose, and Nathan Gary all got 1-year contract and extensions with the Commanders. It's really more for depth. Mayo and Effler and Gary really for depth at linebacker. Williams for running back, being that we don't know what to do with Gibson, and that J.D. McKissic's got a neck injury. And then Wild Goose for cornerback depth, being that we just got rid of Bobby McCain. So real interesting over the weekend. What do you think?
Very. Yeah, I mean, it is very interesting. I don't agree with re-signing a couple of those players because they did underperform this year. David Mayo.
Yeah.
But my thing was you need to build up in the draft.
Yeah.
Get a linebacker or two, or get a free agent who, hey, like Greedy Williams, I didn't fit this team, but I could try playing on your team, seeing if your scheme fits me the best.
Yep.
I mean, I'm gonna grade that probably like a C because I'm not a fan of a couple of those guys. You could have done better. You're trying to build a team. You can only build so you can only get so much out of a
Same
couple
guys.
players, the
Yeah.
same guys.
Yeah, I definitely
And,
agree.
mo- and
Uh,
most of those guys are special teamers anyway. So
yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. I think this was more just for a depth, and you're keeping kind of people in the same place when all this Snyder news, new owner stuff is coming in. But I don't hate it. I agree with it. C+, C- grade. I think Carson and Bobby, I think we're on their way out the door. There's a few more that I can join them. Williams, I think, was a good pickup because he did some really good stuff towards the end of the year as a running back. Mayo and Effler were back and forth, like I said, more for special teams. And Wild Goose was hit and miss if he was playing, that corner position. So I don't know. I don't hate it. I don't love it. But let's just keep building. Daniel Snyder. If
wait, before we get any further, we're forgetting one more thing. Deron Payne was franchise tagged.
he got tagged.
I love it. I love it. The only thing I hate is paying 2 defensive tackles about
Top
15
money.
plus million.
Yep.
And Ron Rivera just did an interview the other day, and they are very, 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 very serious, for the quote, about extending Payne to a bigger extension.
I believe it.
So look for that this offseason.
I believe it. Yeah, the tag was for $18.937 million. So both Payne And Allen now, for at least this coming season, will get both over $17 million. Not only against the cap, but as defensive tackles. Now, John Allen is a top 5 D tackle in this league. Payne, you can make it, a case for a top 20, top 25. And Payne had an incredible season, 11 and a half sacks and all that. But his first 5, all outside of this last year, all of them were under 5 sacks, 6 sacks. Like, he wasn't producing big. This year, for whatever reason, he had, just an exponential growth. Where he's, he got tagged, he's going to get his money. So do they, extend him for the length that John Allen's contract is done? So then you can, have a clean slate. You extend him longer. I'm not curious. Kind of curious where this is going to lead us.
Yeah, me too. Another quick note about Ron Rivera's press review, the interview the other day. They are still going to look at a vet quarterback, whether it's Taylor Heineke or somebody else.
Yeah,
but they are giving Howell the chance to start.
Yeah, they said Sam Howell's playing for QB1 and coming into the season as QB1, but he's not going to start as QB1. They want to bring in someone to compete with him and not only make him better, but try to make the team better. So whether it's Heineke, Minshew, Mariota, Brissett, Bridgewater, Gino, if we got lucky somehow, it's going to be someone.
Yeah, hopefully Gardner Minshew or Taylor Heineke are my biggest two.
I think it's going to be Taylor again, just because you can get him on cheaper. He knows, everyone in the building. Everyone in the building loves him. It keeps some of the fans happy, and it helps, whether Taylor becomes number one or Sam's number one. Either way, you already have that mentor-mentee mentality already going on.
Yeah, very true.
Yep.
Now to your Daniel Snyder news.
Oh, good Lord. Daniel Snyder. If y'all did not see the news, he is now in hot water. What happened is that in April of 2020, he took out a $55 million loan that the Commanders did not know about. They're going to say they did. They didn't know about. Let's be real. And this was also without the knowledge of Snyder's minority partners, who own about 40% of the franchise. They didn't know about it. We didn't know about it. We only found out because the federal grand jury had issued subpoenas for, finances on the team these past 2 years and these past few months with the FBI and the IRS. So now there's a criminal inquiry that is being led by the FBI and the IRS. Snyder had already sold his house. We already have people looking to buy it, whether it's Jeff Bezos, whether who else it is. But yeah.
I doubt it's going to be Bezos. Dan does not like Bezos, man. I don't like Bezos either. I'm not the biggest fan, but Dan's sidelined him for a couple rumors.
He can do it all they want. The NFL is going to want him out, especially now. If they didn't lose Jerry before, he lost Jerry now. The only way that he said that the NFL can get rid of him is if they essentially vote him out and give him these special parameters of, hey, you can kick me out. You just can't sue me now. That's what he wants.
Yeah, and it takes 24 out of the 32 owners to kick him out. 22 or 24. 24. Something like that.
It's 24.
Yeah. Which it could happen. I mean, you never know. It'd be the first one in history.
It'd be the first one in history, but
as far as I know.
You could easily get 27 to kick him out. Easily with what's going on now. Like in that $55 million, he charged the team $4.5 million to put the franchise logo on his private jet. That don't tell you some selfishness that he wants to look good. Good.
No, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
No, I think it's just a whole lot of BS. Like this time last week, we were talking about Eric Bieniemy, offensive coordinator, assistant head coach. What he's going to do for this offense. Look at Sam Howell. He's going to be QB1. Look at the weapons. EV is going to look for. He gets 100. And then not even a week later, Snyder's back in the news.
Dan the Clown. You know him. Distract.
Who was it? McAfee said it best. We can't go a week without shooting ourselves in the foot and making and stooping down another level. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's right. Dan just loves being a big.
No, I was agreeing with you. He's right.
Dan loves being a distraction. Oh yeah.
Yep. Yep. Dan Snyder looked at LaShawn McCoy on the I Am Athlete podcast when he said, I gave him crazy work. And he said, I'm going to give this franchise crazy work and crazy allegations. Like, are you kidding me? Are you out of your mind? Leave us alone.
Yeah. Well, here's something that doesn't look good as Dan being an owner. We were ranked an F or F
Yep.
zero or F negative F
Dead.
for
Wow.
overall.
Yep.
Like almost everything was F.
Yep. So guys, what happened is within the past 24 hours, the NFL Players Association went through about every single team's facility, whether that's their strength and conditioning, your nutrition room, your training staff, your training rooms, your locker rooms, and they gave each team a grade. Now, the top 5 teams that had the best grades, number 5 was the Cowboys. That does not shock me. That's Jerry Roll. That is big, deep, Dallas's playpen. They have state of the art stuff. Number 4 was the Texans. That shocked me. Number 3 was the Raiders. They got a brand new facility within the last 2 years. Does not shock me. The Miami Dolphins are number 2. They're in Miami. They're in South Beach. They're going to get a lot of good things. The best team, whether it's facility, team meals, weight room, strength of staff, travel, the Minnesota Vikings. Kirk O'Chains and the crew.
Yep.
If that don't tell you, so I'll put it on the screen for you guys as I go along. But treatment of facilities, or excuse me, treatment of families, grade F. We were tied 29th, which was last. Food service and nutrition, D plus, tied 18th. Weight room, C plus, tied 22nd. Strength coaches, this is where the only place we got good. We had an A plus, which was tied for first because we got some dogs in there, right? Training room, F minus, tied for last or tied 30th. Training staff, D, 31st in the league. Locker room and team travel, F minus, dead last. You want to know who was better than us? The Cardinals, the Chargers, everybody. Here's the bottom 5 in all those. Ready for this? This is what kills me. 28 was Jacksonville. 29 was Kansas City. 30th was the Chargers, and they got SoFi. 31st was the Cardinals, and then we were dead last. Dan don't want to spend money.
Nope, only on himself. As we saw, he didn't care about the fans. He don't care about his team. He's just a money freak.
Yep.
That's all he is. That's all he is. That's all he'll ever be.
Yep. And
It's
this is
time to get the
from the
clown out
NFL.
of here.
Oh, sorry to cut you off, but this is from the NFLPA, and this is from JP Finley, NBCS, who everyone uses. He said it best. Most of these rankings have a direct correlation to facilities, which is a direct correlation to ownership. I don't put this much on coaching or front office. Top-notch travel, food, and facilities is about spending money. Those decisions come from one person. He's right. You can't blame coaches because we can't afford good meals, because we can't afford, Boeing 737 jets. That's all on Dan, and he don't want to spend it.
Yeah. Dan, hopefully the new owner's got some humongous shoes to fill.
Yep.
Whatever it will be.
You want to know the
He's
crazy part?
gotta
Oh no, go ahead, finish it up.
no, he's just gotta turn the whole place upside down. It's time for a remake.
Yep.
Fix this, fix that, fix Dan's screw ups.
Yep. The only other team that did worse than us with meals was the Cardinals, because they charge players when they eat meals in the team facilities during the offseason. That is the only way we could have done any worse. That is crazy. No, I think new owner comes in, you get rid of FedEx Field. That place is not good.
Yeah, I know. I was a season ticket holder this year, first time. The
Yep.
bathrooms, they leak. The food, they suck. It's cold. It tastes like they weren't even cooked. They just warmed it up in a warmer. Like the
Yeah.
fries, the hot dogs, even the barbecue sandwiches were crap.
Yeah, they're only so good.
Like there was stuff leaking, chairs were falling apart. I had a
Yep.
dude in a row behind me. He sat down and broke his chair. So yeah, they got to do something.
It's just ugh. Like I went to the Vikings Commanders game. You were there. Rio was there. Tony was there. I met up with you guys. It was cool because my first time. Would I go again? Only because I'm a fan. I'm not going because of the facility. This isn't SoFi.
Yeah,
This isn't Dallas.
uh,
This isn't, Arrowhead. This isn't Seattle. This ain't even Cincinnati. This ain't even MetLife or MethLife Stadium. We are literally the worst team stadium in the league. I'd rather go to Soldier Field. I'd rather go to Chicago.
yeah. Honestly, I mean, FedEx Field it's a terrible field. They were smart. They had to get an extension. They'd sit there and say, "Hey, you know, we want to tear FedEx Field. We want to extend our contract. We want a
Yep.
20-year deal. We want to build a dome here, fix the parking lot, fix the piping, tear down the stadium because you have the. If you tear it down, you have the foundation
Yeah.
at least, unless you want to refound it, make it bigger, smaller.
Yep.
But it's something's got to happen. I'm tired of being last. The fans are getting over it.
Yep.
Everybody's getting fed up. You can only take so much as a fan. It's depressing. It's annoying, and it just makes you want to pull all your hair out because Dan's being stupid.
Yep.
And we let guys we lose guys all the time. You know, we have poor coaching decisions because somebody coaching doesn't believe we can get a bigger buck instead of cutting people loose
Yep.
and not getting better as a roster. So
Nope. This is
welcome to depression.
oh, if I'm the new owner, I'm saying FedEx. I want a 5-year extension so I have enough time to go build a new stadium. I don't care if I don't want it. I don't think it should be in Woodbridge. It's actually that's already got enough traffic as is. Don't put it in Woodbridge. Put it more towards DC. Woodbridge is like an hour south. Don't do that. Get a new field, put a dome over it, put some shopping centers around it, put some hotels around it, put like 1,000 acres of parking or whatever it needs to be. Put in high quality facilities, jumbotrons galore. You bring in state of the art POS systems because I went to culinary school, so I know some of these terminologies. You bring in some good chefs to make a good menu that's easy to not easy to make per se, but can be fed to the masses. And you
Look
make
at the Patriots Stadium. They have
bro,
Patriot Stadium. They have what I call taxpayers because they have a bunch of restaurants.
yeah,
They got a shopping mall. They got everything you're saying. Patriot Stadium.
yep.
So was it Soldier Field
Foxborough.
or Foxborough? I mean, yeah, they have all that stuff because I went there once for a concert.
Mm-hmm.
Seating was nice. It was spacious. The parking lot's pretty big. I mean, even FedEx Field parking lot it needs fixed. You need to do something. The parking
Yeah.
spaces. Yeah, good luck. Good luck if you drive a truck or something.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
It's got to be fixed.
do you remember when they were dropping, um, like stadium plans for like this new stadium had like this big translucent, um, roof dome, had like a practice field right next to it. It had like a shopping center attached to it. They're gonna put it in Woodbridge. This was back in May, so a year ago, because they had just purchased like 200 acres off of 95. But
I think it was a distraction.
I guarantee you it was. It, I wouldn't have been surprised if it was. Because Woodbridge doesn't want that. They've got enough traffic coming off in 95. I went up there on a Sunday morning because I drove up that morning. Woodbridge has got crazy traffic regardless of what time it is. Put game day up there. Oh my goodness. 6 hour standstills guaranteed. It's crazy.
Oh, I know, man.
Enough about Nancy.
All right.
Felt a chill.
All right. Let's get yeah, let's get into some interesting
So,
times now.
absolutely. So, Justin had an idea for us. So, we have done mock drafts the past 5 weeks. We've done 7-round free agency mock drafts the past 5 weeks, and we are aware of this. And as much as we love doing it, it's got to bring something fresh. So, Justin had brought my attention to a website. That's not what I want. Kevin. Called NFLDraftBuzz.com. Now, this gives you a full we're not sponsored, should be, but we're not. This brings you a full profile and scouting report on every player in the draft. Now, the combine hasn't happened yet. The combine is next week in Indy, and that's got news around it already. But Justin has his, what I'm going to call top 3 draft prospects. Now, this could be a quarterback, offensive lineman, D tackle, corner, kind of like our top 5 free agents. This is gonna be our top 5 draft prospects. So, Justin, if you want to get started,
Sure, I'd love to get started.
Any ballers, hold up. We got a few sponsors we need to personally thank for here at Ballin and Burgundy. First, our guy Washington on the Daily, both on Instagram and YouTube. Huge sponsor. We want to give our massive thanks out to them. You can follow Washington on the Daily, both on Instagram and on Twitter, WSH on the Daily. Our guy Tony, who's Pro Tech Sports Network. Huge thanks to him. I met up with him at the Commanders Vikings game. Huge thanks to him. Our guy Sanchez at On the Warpath podcast over on YouTube and on Instagram. And then finally, our guy Rio Robinson, Mr. Rambling with Rio himself, our newest sponsor, and a huge thanks to him. Met up with him at the Vikings Commanders game as well. Said thank you to him. Again, huge thanks. Again, all of their Instagrams and YouTubes are going to be down in the description. You guys go follow all of them. And again, one big thank you to Rio, Tony, Sanchez, Washington on the Daily for being sponsors of not only today's video, but Ballin and Burgundy as a podcast. Get back to work.
And now we return you to our regular scheduled program.
So, first round, 16th pick, I have us taking Ohio State's guard, offensive tackle, Paris Johnson. I think I said that right.
Paris Johnson Jr.
I think he's going to fall because this quarterback draft class has a lot of guys probably could be taken in the top 10 for quarterbacks. And I do think there's going to be a huge, probably 3 or 4 cornerbacks going to be taken too. So your offensive linemen, they may fall down because there's a lot of teams that need D-line help or receiver help in the mid-tier before us. So I could see him falling. Now, Johnson, he is a great run blocker. Very good run blocker. Decent in pass blocking. The guy, his biggest weakness that I've seen on film, he's got to remember his basics. He's got to remember stay low and block. He's got to remember his balance at times. But other than that, this dude could be a mean, nasty Hogs 2.0 caliber lineman. Let's bring the Hogs back.
Yeah. I mean, 6'6", 310. He's got a good size arm, 85.5-inch wingspan. I mean, that is massive. He's projected to have a 5.0 540 time being the draft next week. These are predictions, but I could definitely see that being a little bit faster. Just because he's so young. He's 21. He'll turn 27 in August. He's a little bit older than I am.
You mean 22, not 27?
Or 21, my apologies. I said 27. I'm so bad. That's besides point. I mean, he's projected to be the second best tackle in this draft class behind Skoronski. But you've got guys like Jones, Harrison, Jones, his own partner Jones, White, Wright, Bergenson, Maj. I mean, you got tackles for days. I mean, 5-star recruit coming out of high school. He's got awards down the wazoo. He's got a load of strengths. But I agree, coming out of this, his weakness is, a little underpowered in the run game. Height could be, on short yardage because he can get under the pads. And he'd be impatient. He got to sit back and lunge versus have a good balance. So that could be interesting. They're comparing him to last year's Charles Cross, who went to Seattle in the first round, I believe the first round, and he was really good for Seattle. Like, really good. But if I come up here, I mean, he's only given up, I think it's 7 sacks in his career. If I read that right. 2022, 2 sacks here. Sophomore, didn't give up a sack. 2020, yeah. Fewest TFLs allowed, with 37 only TFLs allowed, and only 7 sacks allowed. So he's not a guy who's going to give up big plays like Leno, like Roulier, like Norwell. He's going to be a heavy hitter.
Yeah, all three of those guys need to go. We need a youth movement, terribly at the O-line spot. It is bad. Leno is terrible at getting speed rush and power rushers. Norwell is getting bad at just power rushers, and Chase just can't stay healthy, man.
Nope.
He's got to go. I hate to say it.
He's got to go. I really like this pick. I think if all 3 corners go off the board by 16, where there's a possibility that they do, then I agree. Grab Johnson or grab Osiris Torrance, the guard. I like this pick. Who'd you have for round 2?
So round 2, I think we go cornerback. It's a guy very underrated. At least round 2. Came out of TCU. Travis Hodges Tomlinson.
Yep. Now.
Good overall cornerback. He isn't scared to actually make tackles. He sits there. He's a little small. I think he's like 5'10", maybe 5'9".
He is small. He is 5'8", 175 pounds.
He's small, but the dude's not scared. He tackles, which you can see right there.
Yep.
He can cover. He isn't afraid to get a little dirty. And his QB rating, I think, what was that?
48.1 when targeted.
Yeah. He's like the honey badger.
He's
back
good.
in his college days. Just a little less with that.
Yep. I mean, he's a nephew of Damian Tomlinson. He was a Hall of Famer in the NFL, TCU legend. I mean, big ball. I mean, he's got, awards for days. Jim Thorpe Award, Big 12 first team, 2 years in a row, Big 12 AP first team, Defensive Player of the Week, All-American 2020, second team All-American. I mean, he is good. Got good stuff. Great strengths. Really good corner. QBR of 56, so anywhere between 48 and, really good there. Downhill burst in the run. Can, play in the slot in the box, but he's mainly an outside as traditional corner, which we need, really. I mean, he's got good stuff up the wazoo. Now, being 5'8", 175, most guys in the NFL can bench 175. He's a little bit shorter arms. Catch radius is a little bit small, a little bit grabby at times, and can be a little aggressive. But I think we need a little bit of physicality on this team.
Agreed. Like I think I get size does matter in the NFL.
Yep.
But if this dude was like 5'11", this dude probably a first round pick.
Oh yeah.
I get he aces the coverage is one of the best coverage grades out of this draft. And just watching his film, it wows you at times. You're like, this little guy's really doing this.
Yep.
Deflections, a couple interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
I think he could turn out to be like the honey badger, just less explosiveness. And I like being over aggressive instead of too conservative.
Yeah. I mean, he's projected to have a 4.3 flat 40, so he is a speedy son of a gun. Height concerns me, being 5'8". That concerns me a little bit. But we'll
But
see.
Danny Johnson isn't that tall either.
That is true. That is true.
He's 5'8", I think.
That is true.
Yeah.
I mean, last year, I'm gonna call him THT for right now. I mean, 7 breaks up, 3 picks, which included 2 pick sixes, 47 tackles. I mean, just crazy. Surrendered an elite QB rating of 38.9. So this is the lowest I've seen. Is 38.9. The highest was, what did I say, 58.3. I think it was the highest.
Don't that tell you something? This
And
guy
here's
might
48,
be
yeah.
the gem. This guy might be the gem in the whole NFL draft if we can take him at round 2, and if he could work out the way we want him to work out. This is a sneaky wow kind of guy. If you pick him.
Yep. I really like this pick. If we had to go tackle in the first and we got him in the second, I would not be upset one bit. This corner is something we need to address, and this would address it. Now, your 3rd round pick.
I got linebacker Noah Swell from Oregon. I get it. He's a big name guy. He is following. He isn't the fastest guy. He isn't like his brother, who plays for the Lions.
Yep, the offensive
He's
tackle.
a guy. Yeah, he's a guy. He isn't scared of getting dirty. He can make plays. But his effort at times concerns me. Some of his playing style, it just needs fixed just a little. Back to the basics. I need to, work on my first couple moves. I need to do this and do that. Work on some coverages,
Mm-hmm.
But I do think he could be pretty solid linebacker and learn as a backup for the first year.
No, I like it. I mean, going over his strengths, high motor, good hand use, tight spin, understands angles, kind of beat blockers off the spot. Works great in a classic 4-3, which is what we like to run as a 4-3, sometimes even a 5-2-5 or 5-1-5. Good long arms because he's 6'2", 253, so he's a big son of a gun. Like you said, downhill tackling. He can be a bit of a better finisher. And then just tackling overall needs to improve a little bit. This right here is how scouts are viewing him. So all their scouts overall rank is 74.5 in the draft, but at his position, he's ranked 11th.
Yeah.
Great. I mean, Jack Campbell, probably a 2nd round pick. Drew Sanders, 2nd round pick. Simpson, 2nd, could be a sneaky 1st round pick. Wilson and Anderson, all probably top 10 picks. Carter, this is actually, I think he's supposed to be an edge. They have him as a linebacker. He could go anywhere from a late 1st to early 2nd to late 2nd. Like, he's all over the map. But I like it.
That would be my honest, the best scenario for us in the first 3 rounds in my opinion. I mean, everybody else is different. I've seen Commander fans want cornerbacks. I've seen guys want the tight end from Notre Dame.
Yep.
I've seen other guys. Yeah, I've seen other guys go trade back. I've seen other guys go other alignment. I mean, honestly, I thought O tackle because I think Johnson's going to fall, and he might as well get the best run blocker out of the whole draft.
Mm-hmm.
Round 2, you get a sneaky gem cornerback who not a lot of people know. Not a lot of people are talking to him.
Yeah.
I hope Ron sees his potential because that's something probably not many people do because he should be a 1st round pick.
That is true.
And any linebacker, and Swole, I mean, Yeah, he might be a big name. Yeah, he might be falling. Yeah, he might need time to sit there and refocus on learning the basic things, but
Yeah.
he could be another elite guy in 2 years from now, you know?
Yeah. No, I like him. I like him a lot. I think the first two are, really strong, third round linebackers. Um, gonna be hard to get. But I think Sewell being with this linebacker class alone is crazy. Um, I mean, he's ranked 11th, like I said. Um, you got guys like Tamar Van Overshown. You got Mike Jones out of LSU. You got Herbig out of Wisconsin. Ivan Pace out of Cincinnati. Ventrell Miller out of Florida. Dorian Williams out of Tulane. Brent Cox, who plays both edge and linebacker out of Florida. D Winners out of TCU. I mean, you got linebacker depth everywhere. And that's just the first, 20-ish guys in what NFL Draft Buzz, as their linebackers. You guys, Aubrey Miller Jr. out of Jackson State, who would fall. Cam Bright out of Washington, who's going to be a later pickup. Bumper Pool out of Arkansas, great name by the way. He'll fall back, or he'll be a free agent towards the end. I mean, you got guys that can play ball and pick him up late. I like it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, even the third round pick, you could sit there and go, you know, I see another old lineman, or I see this guy. I take him over him, and still get the guy from TCU with pace, or the other linebacker, who both them TCU boys are pretty good.
Yeah, D Winners.
Yep.
Yeah, D Winners has been anywhere in my mock drafts from a third round pick. He's even fallen to the sixth, just because how deep this linebacker group is. So you never know.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, it's insane. Draft night's going to get wacky.
Ooh. Draft night's going to be a buzz.
I hope quarterbacks, all 3 to 5, get taken early, because what's his name from Florida? I've heard he's
Anthony
rising. Richardson, he's rising.
Oh, rising fast. Now, I
Pete
was a Florida
Carroll's
fan.
talked with him.
Yeah. Sorry to cut you off, but being a Florida fan, just because family, I mean, he had his ups and downs. I mean, McAfee pointed best. He didn't have a touchdown throwing the ball in his first 4 games. And then over the next 5, he goes, I think it was like 8-3, 8 touchdowns, 3 picks. But he can run for crazy yards. People calling him, Josh Allen, a better runner, calling him Cam Newton, needs to work on the arm, calling him like a poor man's Lamar, I've heard. I'm going to be shocked if he falls out the top 10, because you have Houston, you have Detroit, you have Vegas, Atlanta, and Carolina all in that top 10, who all need quarterbacks. And if you don't pick him up then, you're going to have to wait until a Hendon Hooker hopefully falls to you in the second.
Yeah, it's insane. Even Hooker could fall in the late first.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be wild. I think this is probably one of the better quarterback classes we've seen in probably the last 3-4 years. Probably. I don't know the extent. I've seen so many guys compared to a lot of elite guys. Like what's his face, the Bama quarterback,
Bryce Young.
Yeah, he's last I saw, he was compared to a better version of Russell Wilson. CJ was last compared to Justin Herbert. And they're 2 elite guys,
Yeah.
that everybody claims. I mean, I haven't done a lot of quarterback film because I'm more in depth and watching a lot of O-line, cornerback, and linebacker. That's what we need in this draft.
Yeah. Yeah. Quarterback is going to be real interesting. I mean, the top 10 could get crazy long, because you have guys like New Orleans, who need a quarterback, they might trade up. You guys like Tampa Bay, they need a quarterback, they might trade up if they don't want to work with Kyle Trask. Atlanta might try to move up. Indy's going to want to move up to that first overall pick if Chicago trades back.
Oh, they're going to trade back. You can't tell me they had Bears will most likely trade back.
Yeah,
I mean,
especially with
Titans.
Titans. Thank you. Another team that needs a QB.
Titans, Jets,
Ooh.
Lions. That's another hit or miss team if they want to get rid of Goff.
Lions,
which I'd like to see Goff. I could see Goff go to the Jets. I could entertain that. You know, Goff to the Jets or Carter to the Jets. I mean, Rodgers is probably going to get traded.
Rodgers and Carter to the Jets are probably the more accurate ones. I don't think Goff leaves. I think they'll keep him around for another year to groom who they draft. Because I think they're, 5? They had 5?
I can't tell you on top of my head.
They're fairly early. They're at 6. They're at 6 and they're at 18. They could use. I mean, Chicago 1, Houston 2, Arizona 3, Indy 4, Seattle 5, Detroit 6, Vegas 7, Atlanta 8, Carolina 9, and Philly 10. You're telling me 5 of those couldn't use a quarterback?
I could see Philly trading back. I could see Cardinals and Bears all trading back. I think the Cardinals pick and the Bears picks are going to be a bidding war for who trades up for.
Yeah. I think Indy takes the first overall pick. They'll give up 4, they'll give up a second, they'll give up a 4th, and they'll give up another first because they're going to want Bryce Young and Indy. Arizona, Carolina could trade up and get a guy, especially if they don't think Richardson falls at 8 or 9. Who said he's not a top 5 pick? All of a sudden,
they're going to have to trade up.
Yeah,
like if you want a quarterback this draft, you're going to have to trade between picks 1 to 6 because everybody is in such need of quarterbacks. It's not like last year. You know, this year for some reason everybody's I need quarterbacks.
Yeah,
like the Jets. Zach Wilson isn't producing yet. He's in his own other world. We're just going to call it. We're not going to talk about his events. You know, but you look at Titans, Ryan Tannehill. Do you think you can sit there and go, "Hey, I'll trade Derrick Henry"?
No,
because we need a youth. You never know. We need a youth movement.
That is true.
Imagine if the Imagine if the Bills sit there and say, "I'll give you my first round pick for Derrick Henry." That offense will be a juggernaut. Yeah, the cap space might be over, but
yeah,
you know, that'd be something to watch for.
That would be real interesting. I don't know.
I mean, their defense is younger. But their offense is old. I mean,
Tennessee just did get rid of Robert Woods and Taylor Lewan. Cleared a major cap.
Oh yeah, they'll have some cap space to re-sign their guys. Get a couple guys in trade agency, but they need to do something. They need a youth movement.
They gotta do something.
I can see the Bengals landing Jalen Ramsey though. That'd be crazy.
I think he'll go to Detroit if anything. I don't see him going because they gotta try to keep Jesse Bates. So how are you gonna pay Ramsey and Bates? If I'm Detroit, I've got cap. I've got a spare first round pick. If you had to trade that,
oh yeah, but Bengals. Jesse Bates has been hanging out with Falcons players a lot recently. He's hanging out with AJ Terrell, Kyle Pitts. They've all been hanging out. So that kind of tells me, I think Bengals are just going to let him walk. Which he didn't have the best season in all this year.
That is true. I don't know. It's going to be a crazy draft. I think with everything with Jalen Carter now, like we talked about earlier, is if he doesn't get indicted or incarcerated now, does Will Anderson become the first defensive player to come off the draft? Does Chicago imagine if Chicago says, "Hey, Seattle, if you want this, I want 5 and 20. Who's to say Seattle doesn't take Bryce Young? Let him learn under Geno. Give him DK Metcalf. Give him Tyler Lockett. Give him Kenneth Walker.
I don't think Pete Carroll wants to do that. Pete Carroll, every year he's been coaching, he always builds a system quarterback.
Yeah.
That's why Russell Wilson, when he got traded, he's crappy. It's the system. Geno Smith, guy best as a backup. Well, you know
Worked
what?
really well.
He played at a mid-tier level, and now he looks pretty decent.
Yep.
He's not saying he's best, not saying he's worse. He's mid-tier system quarterback. I think their best entrance now is, we have a young team. Yeah, we can sit here and pay Geno, but let's not try to go quarterback. Let's get stuff to build around Geno.
Yeah.
For the time being. So next year, when the better quarterbacks are out and about, we can pounce on them.
True. I don't know. This draft season is going to be crazy because we're going to have coverage. Rio, Tony, our buddy Adam, like everyone's going to have coverage on it. And I can't wait for draft season.
Yeah, me too. And free agency. Tampering starts March 13th.
Yep.
Agent starts March 15th.
The fact that the Giants are going to release Kenny Galladay at the start of free agency is already huge.
I don't think it's huge because he didn't do anything. I had better Madden stats in real life than him.
It's not huge being that they're going to release him. I think it's huge they announced it 2 weeks early, 3 weeks early. Like, nothing's come out from New York saying, oh, we're going to keep Kenny for another year. Reports come out saying, hey, they're going to release him March 15th. And then nothing. Just whoop, right over the wall.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. We'll see what happens.
You will see what happens. But guys, that's good. Gonna just about wrap things up here for this episode. It's a little bit lighter, a little bit more lean, as my meat people like. Pause. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Like I said earlier, don't forget to turn on post notifications. Let you know every time we upload. Go follow us on Instagram at Ballin in Burgundy Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. Don't forget, if you're on our Instagram already, we are in a Facebook group for Commanders fans. Go ahead and join that. We will approve you and add you in. Anything else you want to add?
No, it's just we appreciate you watching like normal. You guys,
definitely.
anything, where to DM us. Football questions, any questions about anything, just give us a DM.
Yep.
But we're happy to give you another episode. Hopefully you guys enjoy your week.
Absolutely, guys. Don't forget, if you agree with us, if you disagree with us, hit it in the comment section. We love to hear you guys talk, whether it's on Instagram saying, hey, love this, or who are y'all picking now? Over on Instagram saying, hey, this draft sucks. This draft was amazing. We want to hear it. On all the language, keep that down a little bit between us. But we love the engagement with you guys. Don't forget to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to come on over here and subscribe. And don't forget to stay ballin'. We'll see y'all out there.